Thank you for joining me today. I hope you are feeling the gratitude as you breathe in this breath right now and you're experiencing at least a bit of positivity today. I'm only here to assist you with that. I don't have the answers. I never give you answers. With each succeeding episode in the 820 Enterprise, I just want to share with you a perspective. I do want to change your perspective on the present moment, but not to convince you and definitely not to confuse you. I only hope it helps to support you in how you define your journey, how you build your own personal infrastructure, and to be careful in who you call your friend. So today we're going to get into or revisit the 8 pillars of friend, or the friend of 8 pillars. This is just a revisit. I'm not going to go into all the, I'm going to recite them again or restate them, but I want to emphasize the update on the friend of 8 pillars. I'd probably just say the 8 pillars of friend. It's probably simpler. This is a review of the 8 pillars of friend. And the main thing I want to get to today is the depth. I think in the list of those 8 pillars, depth is the 4th one. But let me go through them really quickly and consider this statement today as an update to the 4th pillar. And then also keep in mind from context, this Ming view of the friend world is probably wrong. But I only hope that it can be useful on your journey and in your journey towards resilience. So, a quick review of those 8 pillars of friend. Number 1, you would have disparate backgrounds. Number 2, a potential friend would have a common or shared experience with you. Number 3, that friend would have a similar or complementary trauma. And number 4, the update. Number 4 is what I call the concentrated duration of developing a friend, but also it's about the depth, not just the length, but the depth of that duration. Number 5, a common, relatable desire, discipline, and drive. Number 6, the constant over the variables. That constant being love. Number 7, that potential friend would have a core competency or a core competency that is common to both people. Number 8, reliability. And reliability means being available under duress, under stress, available without question, and the main tagline, constant contact is unnecessary for reliability. Now, I expect a possible response as those 8 steps are a lot of steps on a formally presumed and really questioned topic called friend. And I won't go back over the list again, but the term depth has risen in my observation as worthy of mentioning again today. And I mentioned that term depth for your consideration, how you apply that term to your acquaintances, your colleagues, your YouTube or Instagram connections. And in closing, or going a little further in this conversation about depth and resilience, I had mentioned to you before, maybe I kind of teased it out, there will be some forthcoming 820 episodes that I'll have merged with my own personal poetry. It'll be called Poetry and Resilience. So I've reconnected or reestablished or refreshed that list of poems I did almost 30 years ago. And in some way, some form or fashion, While I'm not a Langston Hughes poet at all, or E. E. Cummings or T.S. Eliot, I'm just a small input in the poetry world. But I did have these poems, and I was rereading them the other day. I said, shoot, those poems have the embers, the kindling that probably was stoking my fire for even building the book, Resilience, the Beauty of Presence, and then each 820 episode. So anyway, in closing out this discussion today on depth and friend, here's the poem I promise you. Now, each poem will have an intro statement and then a outgoing statement. So, for example, this poem is called The Deep Abyss of Shallowness. A Little Deception Among Friends, Part 4. That's the title of this poem. The intro statement is this, in quote, "We have loved ideally and without one heart, more ethereal than satisfying." And now I'll get into the main part of the poem. A shallow protocol uncovers the impossible symphony or denouement in denial. And we get there in a way to a sense of perfection and friendship, beyond fears imagined and proposed, translated into chords and choruses we'd rather not admit. Striking, scratching, shooting through the surface, the ritual is a habitual loop of life we step into, and out of at will. Controlling, too, the invaluable freedom of inactivity. We continue to dream of enacting our desires, delving a bit deeper into our confrontation through this thin film of restraint that keeps us from ourselves, from each other, and from our invincible strength. And suddenly, we are dying. It is a sleep we covet, a soulful slumber dieting our worthiness in success. With the superficial and the superphysical frames of ego and lust, where more is only and just more, but far less, and maybe just what we need. And here's the outgoing quote. Our wishes, wafting so eloquently and sensibly, easing pain into the subconsciousness to the point of acceptance and yearning. That was The Deep Abyss of Shallowness, Part 4 of A Little Deception Among Friends. I hope you enjoyed that. Until next time, pay attention, stay present, stay current. Wherever you are in this world, please remember, it is always 8:20.